Welcome back to another episode of Iron Tons Engineering. On today's episode, we're going to be working a little bit more on this. Now, the last time you all saw that, I was working on making the banded steel wheels, and now they're all done, as you saw in the last video, hopefully, I thought it's time to get them painted and rub it up. So, I jumped a couple of steps here. I didn't actually film it, to be fair, but this is what I've done the wheels like. So, it's the colour I went for the wheels. It's just basically a nice silver. I really like it, if I'm honest with you, and it also matches the colour of the truck, or goes with the colour of the truck now, and it will go with the colour of the truck that I paint it in the future. I didn't get them powder coated. I actually done these with a rattle can at work. I think they come out well. I also done the centre caps as well in a nice gloss black with a just a brushed finish centre, really. So yeah, next stage for this, getting them all rubbered. So we've now got to go outside and get the original, well, the SSRs off the truck. It's very hot today. It's like 32 degrees, and everyone who's British knows that British heat is the worst kind of heat. So we've got to go get the Mark 1 SSRs off the truck because we're going to be nabbing the tyres to put on these. So let's go do that. It's going to be hot. So we're now outside. Luckily the truck is in a bit of shade, but it is still hot, and no one wants to see me sweating topless getting the wheels off this thing. So let's skip ahead a little bit and then we can follow it up. To be fair, this shade and the breeze off the field was a godsend. It's lovely. But we got the rear wheels off of here. I might be pushing my luck with this tyre size because the wheels that are currently on it, I think they're 10 by 5, 10 by 6, maybe 10 by 6. The wheels that we're now going to put on at the banded steels, I think they're now, I've made them to 10 by 8s, 10 by 7.5, 10 by 8, something like that. If I'm honest with you, it doesn't really fill me with great confidence, the fact I can't even remember what I've done them to. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can recycle the tyres off of this one onto the other one. Now, I might be pushing my luck with this one a bit because this is how stretched the tyres are at the minute. And I'm now going to ask them, I think, to go about another 1.5 inches on either side. But if you don't ask, you don't get, do you? So we've just took the rears off for now, and now we're going to take them down to my favourite tyre shop, KMC. Luckily they're really close to my work, so taking this pair down, and then if they work, that next pair down ain't really the trouble. So let's get these down there and see what they say. Bet they're going to be happy. So yeah, this is currently the situation I don't think they're going to be too happy with. So that's the size they are. As you can see, why has my camera just done that? There we go. That's the size that they are. And this is the size that I want them to stretch to. If you're going to stand up. So they might not be too happy with me for that, but let's see what they say. So we made it to KMC, and after a bit of swearing and persuasion with the bee blaster, they're on. Look at that. I think they look quality. So now I've got to get the other two down here and then we can fit them to the truck. So we're now back at home. The wheels are now on the truck and I've finally got it looking how I want it. Look at this. Oh, I think that looks the tits.
need a bit of an arch extension on here, so I'll have to look around for that. But look at that. That one's not too bad. The front ones aren't too bad, to be fair. Technically, if I was going to argue with a copper, the tread is underneath the arch. It's just the sidewall's bulged out. So I could argue with him till I'm blue in the face, but I'm too old for all that at the minute. But look, that's it. Oh, I'm so happy with how that come out. So happy with how that come out. Oh, fantastic. I think we can even go lower on the front. Mate, I am happy with that. So, next thing to do on that is get some arch extensions. Could run it as it is. To be fair, I think it looks quite good as it is. But I'm going to get some arch extensions anyway, because they're not normally a lot of money. I found some actual, what they call, Hello Specials or something from Japan, what suit this truck. But by the time they're over here, I'm looking at spending like 300, 400 quid on some plastic or fiberglass arches. So what I think I'm going to do is measure up now and get some mini universal arches and that obviously you can warp with heat and stuff like that and make them fit. So I just want to see how they look before I actually put them on. If I think they look awful, that ain't going on. That's not ideal. Bloody tyre's gone flat. That's no good. Gonna have to take it off and see if there's a leak from the bead or if there's actually a leak from the wheel itself. Hopefully not, because if not I'm gonna have to re-weld them. So let's get that off and get that to the tyre shop and see what they're saying. Right, so we've just been to KMC, we've had the tyre inflated again and then it's been dunked in the water just to see where the air is coming from, and the news isn't that great. I thought it might be the bead of the tyre, but it weren't, it was the weld. So it was all leaking out through here when we dunked it in water, which would indicate that this has got a hole in it somewhere. So what we're now going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to grind that whole weld all the way around flat, and then what we're going to see if we can see any lines or anything like that in the weld or in the fuse bit, what the weld's obviously covering, and then we're obviously going to have to just address that and weld it back up. And then what we're going to do, we'll weld all them holes up if there is any, have this all nice and flat, and then do a nice thick bead all the way along there. We also have just found, or I've just seen, a couple of little pinprick holes in here, so we're going to address them too. And then what we're going to do, once it's done like that, we're then going to run a bead of sealant all the way around it on both sides, and it should be all right. So let's get this in the grinding band, get this sorted. Right, so we might have found the culprits. Got a couple of little holes here, a couple more little ones here, tiny little holes. So now it's all ground down, we'll go back in there, we'll weld these up and grind them down till they're all nice and smooth, just like these ones. As you can probably hear, I've got the fans going full blast because it's about 32 degrees in the shop today. So we're now going to weld up the little holes that were on this. So we're going to be using the TIG welder for this one. I stick welded the whole thing, which is great, but you can't beat a little bit of TIG when it comes to detailing work. So we're going to plug all these holes up, grind them down, and then go over them again with a stick. There we go, all the holes have now been plugged and all been ground down, so I know all that bead round there is all sealed now. So what we're now going to do is go over with the stick welder and give it a good inch bead all the way along there, and then we can seal it all up. Alright, so the wheel is now all welded up. We've also stuck it in the lathe and prepped it all ready for paint again, because obviously with the heat from the welding it's ruined some of the paint work. So we've floured it back again, ready to paint again, but now we're on to the fun bit, this sealant. So what we're going to do is going to put a big thick bead of sealant all around this weld here, running all the way around, and a big bead of sealant running around this one here, and that should cure anything that might be leaking out. So the only thing I'm using is I'm just using this general purpose, no nonsense stuff from Screwfix. You can use stuff like Tiger Seal and all that, like I've done it on my split rims and stuff before, but if I'm honest, that stuff works. So, and it's only like £4 a tube, so just give that a go. So let's get this sealed up now. And here we go. It's like icing a cake, but it's all lovely and sealed now. So, get it back to the tyre shop, get the tyre put on and see if we've solved the issue.
One eternity later.
Right, so if I'm going to be completely honest, I kind of lost track of this video. It's now been a few months since I filmed the majority of the video, because it was peak summer and now it's getting into winter. As you can tell, it's cold, so the wheels have actually been back on for a good 3 months now. They all hold air, so I think we've sorted the issue out now. So what's next for the Acty, I hear you say? Well, this is what's next for the Acty. So obviously we've got the wheels, they stick out like this. I said about getting some arch extensions, so I actually put a call in, or a message in, and I got the Hello Special arches and extensions. You won't see that yet though. But while I was also looking for them, I wanted a side panel here, because I've seen ones before with these side panels, and I thought that looks a lot better than this bare stuff. So I looked around, and it turned out that the side panels are actually from a Roma Home Bambi, and I thought, well, I want some of them. So I started asking people, like, you know, where can I get them from, blah, 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 and people are like, oh, they're like hen's teeth, you're never going to find them. Someone messaged me within 2 days and said, I've got a set here, and I was like, how much do you want for them? And he didn't want a lot, so I was like, I'm going to come get them. So I went and got them, which are these. So these are large side panels, all fiberglass, will go across here. So the next step for the Acty is actually going to be bodywork. So we're going to be doing front arches and the side panels there, and then some arches on the back. While we're at that though, we might as well paint it. But all of that is not going to happen until the workshop is done, which you will see in another video. So that's the end of this episode of Iron Tans Engineering. Cheers for watching this, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry it took so long to do, but life got life, and it just got in the way. So is what it is at the end of the day, but that will hopefully be ready for shows next year if the workshop is all done. So yeah, cheers for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to do that like, subscribing and all that kind of stuff, because it really helps the channel out and it helps me out, because it actually gives me more motivation to do these videos. Now, I really enjoy making these videos, but having a bit of incentive is a good thing. So cheers for watching, guys. See you next time.